In this video, we're going to learn how to work with text on our canvas. So here we have a long form content block, and to modify the text, we can click the element. So for example, we'll start with a heading here. And the first thing we can do with heading and text elements is we can double click inside them and start to modify the text. So we might want to delete that particular part of the statement and write something new. And what we can do there also is select a part of that text, and you'll see now that we've selected inside, this little text editing menu has appeared, so we can bold, italicize, underline and strike through. So let's italicize that and make an underline. And then what we can do while this element is selected is we can just click out and select that again. Is we can head over to the right sidebar here and see the styles panel, and we've got typography opened, and we've got quite a few options here. So we can change the font family. By default, the font family is Proxima Nova because that's what Teachable's default font family is. But we might change that to something like Georgia, and there we get a nice serif font. We can change the font size up and down just by clicking there, and that will change in our canvas in front of us, which is nice to see that happen in real time. We can change the font weight there, and depending on what font we've chosen and whether those weights are available, that will change for us. As you can see there, we can go light Georgia. We've got some letter spacing, and so letter spacing is space between the characters. So we might put 2 pixel spacing between the characters, and you'll just see them spread out a little bit there. We might actually just put that back to 1 so that they stay on 2 lines. We can change the color of the text, and we can just start to drag that around, and we might go up something a little bit blue, which is nice, mid blue there. We can change the line height. The line height is the space between the lines of text. So for example, we can just keep clicking that up and you'll see the space between the lines. So we'll go back there and make that somewhere around 41 or 42. And then we can change the text alignment. Left aligned, center aligned, right aligned, and justified. On the web, I would stay away from justifying text. It's very rare that that works out and makes text readable. So just keeping it simple for headlines and center aligned is nice. When it comes to text, we can also apply background colors to make the text really stand out. So for example, we could come in and apply maybe a light blue. Let's say we wanted to go up here and have a light blue box around our blue text. And then what we might do is add some padding. Again, padding is the spacing inside an element. So let's just go and give that 20 pixels all the way around. And again, we've made a line break there. So we can go back and make the font size a bit smaller so it's on 2 lines again. And then again, when we apply a background color to a box or something like that, you'll see we have sharp square edges. So a nice thing to do, if we select that again, can be to put just a really small border radius of 3 pixels. And we'll see here we just get a little curve here on the corners, which is nice. And there you've modified the text to stand out and look quite nice. If we head up into the elements panel, we can see here we've got a selection of headings to choose from. So H1 being the biggest. It's nice to always just put one H1 on a page. That signifies to the search engines this is the main heading on the page. And we can work all the way down to H4, H5 and H6. So for example, if we wanted a H3 underneath, we could just drag that onto our canvas and then put it underneath there, and we'll see a nice heading. So we can do the same thing here where we double click inside, and this can be the sub heading text, and we might select that again and then center align that, and maybe we want to put a bit more margin bottom on that to get it away from the paragraph text here. And there's how you've got a subheading on the page. Then we can get into the paragraph text. So exactly as we've done with the heading up there, we have all the same options available to us. We might want to make this a lead-in paragraph, so we might want to make that a little bit different, a little bit special, so we can just bump that size up a little bit perhaps. We can again go and make that Georgia and change that. We'll just bump that down a little bit. And we might want to change that to a blue just to play with, see what it looks like. And there you go. And if we wanted to continue on these paragraphs in the same style, instead of making this next one the same, we could just duplicate that, and there we get a second paragraph. And if we're writing a long bit of text, we can continue to duplicate all the way down and have as much text on the page as we want. And that's how simple it is to work with text on our canvas.